Realize one thing. Only the mind is triggered. Not the real you. Your mind has associated a story to each event that has happened in your life. With each character that comes into your experience. It has a story about it. Based on faulty data and false interpretation or perception. How many times have we overreacted to a situation only to find out later that our mental story about the event was mostly, if not completely, false? So, realize that most of your triggers are being magnified by your mind by filtering it from the story that it is made up. Your person didn't text you back. Be unbothered. By realizing that there are unnumbered things that could have happened in their life that they didn't text. And your mind is only focusing on the worst case scenario that they don't love you. Lost your job. Realize that your mind may say that you won't find a new one anytime soon. Or it might say that you always fuck up everything. Now, that is a classic story that most of us have to deal with. But the key word is story. You see, it is all a story. It is you who believes it that makes an event many times worse than it actually is. It might not even be that bad. If you keep your energy aligned even if you got fired. Then this positive energy might land you a job next day. Yes, this is how fast our subconscious mind works if we let it. But we keep listening to our story. I have never ever liked my overreaction afterwards when the whole thing settles down and I realize that I believed the story of my mind. You are not your mind. You are that silent observer that is aware of your mind. Who can observe these thoughts, who is seeing through your eyes. That is the real you. And this real you has the authority to reject or accept any story that your mind tells you. This awareness is just wearing this body of yours. And playing this game of life. You are playing a character, but you end up believing that you are this character. No, you are the one behind the character. And this real you can play any character that you tell it to. It is all about where you put your attention on. If you let go of all the negative stories of your mind, then you will never get triggered. Trust me, I have done it unnumbered times and I used to get triggered about almost everything. Learned it the hard way. We can tolerate almost any emotion and experience it fully without labeling it as good or bad. By simply realizing that it is our mind that labels it from the filter of our story. You may find a good girl, but since you have a story that you always get cheated on. Then her every action will be monitored by your mind to solidify this story of yours. And she will eventually end up doing the exact thing that you are looking for. Because our thoughts and attention are creative. We create the reality that we focus on. So, becoming unshakable starts with one simple step. Realizing and uncovering your mental stories. Because the outside world is not triggering you. It is your mind that is being triggered because its stories has been invoked by something. This is not to say that you should not feel pain and sorrow when something tragic happens. It is not about that. It is about the overly exaggerated triggers of our mind that are the cause of our misery in day-to-day life. But when you lose a loved one, you are allowed to grieve and feel the pain. It is never about becoming emotionless. That is another form of mental story that leads to more insidious and constant pain. It is all about separating the story from what really is. This trims down the pain from a mountain to just a stone. And makes room for more happiness. As you can choose happiness now. Now that you know your story, you can change it and make it lovely. Uplift yourself and make a better life out of it. Remember, our thoughts and feelings are creative. So, if you let go of your stories that trigger you. Then these trigger will start to fade in the outer world as well. And will be gone in some time completely. Because whatever we resist, persists. And whatever we let go and release gets transmuted into positive energy. So become aware of your story. A quick tip that has helped me tremendously is saying this every time I am about to get triggered. That it is just a story. That's it. Just a story. This brings you into the present moment and you become free from that story to actually respond accurately. If the emotions are too strong. Then sit down and feel them fully without labeling them. Or go for a walk and use gentle and soothing self-talk to lift you up. Use this momentum of walking and forward motion to get out of your mind. Use self-talk to separate yourself from the story and get your power back from your mind. The moment you bust your mind in the act is the moment you are free from the story. And you become unshakable.